Says it's starting and we're live.
We are live.
Hello, everyone. This is Alice here, Macabre Pinup, dressing the part, and we're here with some cold cases from my hometown. And we're going to do some Google Maps and fun stuff like that, NamUs and whatnot. What's up, Jason?
Not a lot. I'm excited to talk to you about these cold cases, but before we get into that, why don't you talk to us about what you're wearing?
Let's do so. So this is the Ella dress by Pinup Girl Clothing. They don't make it anymore. It's lavender and pink roses. I have these bangles from Splendette. These earrings are from Luxolite, Etsy, and this is just simply from Claire's. Claire's has a lot of fun hair accessories if you're willing to brave the preteens that shop there. And I am willing, so that's what I'm wearing. That's what I was feeling today when I got home and got out of the scrubs. So that's the pinup part. So let's move on to the macabre part.
All right. Which one would you like to start with?
Well, since we're covering two people, Jeremiah Jamal Parker and Brian Allen Hatfield, I believe we should cover Jeremiah Jamal just simply for the fact that he was the one that disappeared first.
Okay.
And there is an Advocate article. I can't find it anywhere, but I was able to find someone's copy and paste of it on Web Sleuths, so we'll get to read that later.
Let's go over that. Or okay. Where would you like to start with Jeremiah Jamal Parker?
I kind of wanted to go over his just the write-up on Charlie Project. Charlie Project is a very cool website that can you hear Maddie?
A little bit.
A little bit? Super wonderful. Okay. Let's share screen.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what the Charlie Project looks like. I love this website. I like to peruse it from time to time just to check out some missing persons' faces. This is Jeremiah Jamal Parker. He is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, my hometown. He's been missing since April 11th, 2004. He was 19 at the time. He was last seen with his cousin at approximately 6 p.m. on that day in North Sherwood Forest Park in Baton Rouge. He left his car behind the tree line in the northwest corner of the park and left his cousin inside the vehicle while he went into the park. He said he wanted to look for his cell phone holder, which he lost, and he never returned. And then whenever they searched for him, they only found his cell phone and one of his shoes about 50 yards from where his car was parked. So let's look at this place. This is recent stuff. This doesn't even look like, because I used to frequent the park whenever around the time he went missing. This tennis court wasn't here. This was a building. And This is just street view. We can zoom out and see. It was the northwest corner. So let's turn this right side. 2D. The northwest corner would be
okay, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, about right here. That's typically where people would park back in the day. And then he disappeared behind the tree line. There used to be a bunch of trees back here. So now that we can see this whole up top view of it, let's zoom in. And there's this very cool thing. This is Street View from 2016, but you can really go back. They have 2011, August 2016, December 2016. So let's go back to February 2008, excuse me.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a fucking building right there, first of all. There's no tennis court. This is more of how I remember it. So let's go.
That's like a community center, or?
I have no idea what this was, really. I never really saw too many cars. I mean, sometimes you can read signs on Street View, but oh, okay, Brex So
Yeah,
they
so
had
it's
been
like a
planning
wreck.
some. Damn. Yeah, yeah. It took them a really long fucking time to do something with that. So further down the street, you'll be able to see the tree line and how it comes a little bit more west than it used to. You can't really zoom out and get an overhead view of it, nor can you go down here. There's not really a.
I see.
You could probably get a view back here. Now that I'm thinking of it, I'm creepy. Let's do it. Okay, that's the new view. I'm going to go back to the old view.
So you were saying that he was having some sort of premonitions about.
Oh, yeah. So the Charlie, okay, I'm trying to see the tree line and everything. I definitely know, oh yeah, that was definitely there. And this is something that they had recently built. Here we go. Yeah, the tree line extends further than it does in this little aerial shot here. But anyway, let's go back to his profile. So this is what it says here. This is the only thing I've seen on here on the internet about how he watched the movie. But anyway, Parker's loved ones are puzzled by his disappearance. He has not gone missing before and never even spent the night away from home without telling his parents. Wow, he's 19. He worked at Wendy's and attended BRCC at the time of his disappearance, Baton Rouge Community College. Parker had seen the movie The Passion of the Christ shortly before his disappearance and was deeply moved by it. After watching the film, he told his family members he would be leaving soon. It is unknown what Parker meant by this statement or whether the film had anything to do with his disappearance. Now, that's pretty interesting. Meanwhile, okay, so this is his case on the Louisiana Repository for Unidentified and Missing Peoples database, and additional details last seen in Breck Park, maybe in Canada. So
Really?
yeah, okay, so this is like, whenever you research missing persons cases, there's always different write-ups on them about each site, and you learn you have to gather all these small details to come up with the larger picture. Where the fuck did they come up with this? Like, this is, I mean, and where did they come up with the? No, that's the next case. Where the fuck did they come up with the shit about the Passion of the Christ? It's like from old newspapers that I have no access to.
I
wish I could
see
get.
what the movie has to do with his disappearance. It sounds to
Well,
me like
he told his family members he would be leaving soon. I mean,
yeah.
You know, there's always those cases where family members, after their loved one goes missing, they look back and think about all those conversations and wonder, maybe there's something I could have done, or they always think they gave clues to their disappearance, and they look really, really, really deep in the things they last said to them in the days leading up to it. But a lot of them are just red herring type situations. Good Lord, my cat is going ape shit over this like present bow over here. Okay, so this is the web sleuth thread I wanted to run through.
Okay, so what doesn't make sense to me is that he went to the park at night, right? To look for a cell phone
Yeah,
holder?
approximately 8 p.m. Yeah, or 6 p.m. 6 p.m. That's what it says.
Okay, so
That's what it says right here. Yeah.
April?
Yeah, it's going to be.
It would be dark
April?
at 6 p.m.
Yeah,
in
it would be
April.
dark as shit. Yeah, it would be dark as shit, actually, in April.
There's no way he's
Pretty
going to find
dark.
this cell phone holder.
No, and they found his. And then whenever they did a search, they only found his cell phone and one of his shoes 50 yards from where his car was parked. And then you consider the fact that his car was parked probably somewhere here by the old tree line. And well, actually, is this okay? He probably parked here because I know this existed at that time. Parked somewhere around here. I don't know how many 50 yards. Here's the trees.
So he went off into those trees.
But they could only uncover a shoe 50 yards away from here, and his cell phone, which they didn't describe where that was located in relation to where he was last seen. So next source, the web sleuth. That's next. Gosh, I keep getting them confused. Okay, so this is interesting as well. The NamUs, Missing Persons Database, National Missing and Identified Persons System. NamUs is really helpful. They usually have larger pictures of people too. I noticed they have like a small face picture here, and well, this is a larger picture.
Yeah, it's basically the same picture.
Yeah, I mean, whenever they have such few details, it's very hard to find one picture, let alone multiple. So he would be 33 now. Last seen with a friend. Okay, so first of all, it says cousin
right
on Charlie Project. And then also says cousin because it's referencing the Charlie Project right up. Charlie Project gets referenced a lot, and it is helpful. And while it is helpful, sometimes it doesn't include all details. Like the may have gone to Canada. Doesn't include that on Charlie Project. This is something that I've just read on 2 other sources. But last seen with a friend, and his friend stayed in the car while Jeremiah walked in. That's still the same. He never returned. What were you saying?
Well, I wonder why they think he went to Canada. I don't.
That's where I'm trying to understand that as well. I've always been trying to understand that, but these are 2 cases that I've looked up really hard on the internet, and I've just not been able to uncover anything about that. Oh, he was wearing a watch. Okay. Does it say that on here?
It's really not helpful at all.
No, really not helpful at all. No. But what if they found his watch? You know, that's pretty helpful. Or his baseball cap that he was wearing.
I mean, I'm sure they searched those woods, right?
I'm pretty sure they searched the woods. But who knows what they did. Yeah, it's the same picture. And this is a medium to high profile strength. Like,
I'd hate to see a low one.
It's basically nothing. No picture, but nothing whatsoever. At least he has a case manager with 2 case managers with phone numbers. Huh,
yeah,
that's cool about NamUs.
So have people seen him in Canada? Is that why people think he went to Canada?
That's something I would maybe contact the case manager about. I'd love to call her and get a little bit of info on that, because I don't see anything about it on here. And then the worst part about Charlie Project is that the source information here, it leads you for like, what is this? What is this?
What is that?
What is that? Outpost for Hope. Where's the search button? I mean, like, none of it is really helpful. You have to Google it yourself. What the fuck is this now? Like, they're just not updated links. Like, thank you for arranging most of the stuff in one place. I mean, this is where we learned that he worked at Wendy's and went to BRCC, and the whole Passion of the Christ detail. But
it seems like a red herring to me.
Yeah, I think that they should really. I think that I know who run. Well, I don't know her personally. Her name is Megan. She's the only one that takes care of the Charlie Project, and it's a really huge site. She does a really good job, but a lot of the links right here are outdated. So you'd call the Baton Rouge Police Department if you have any information about that particular case.
Please do.
And then this mentions the watch as well in Canada. I think these and NamUs go hand in hand, really, as far as official details. I think maybe she gets older news articles that no longer can be linked to, in which case she should take screenshots and post the screenshots, I guess, or maybe save the web page offline and maybe upload it herself, host it herself. And then no one replied to this, but there's a longer one on the next guy. Okay, so this is the area. And personally, in Baton Rouge, the whole dividing line of like safe and not safe is Florida Boulevard right here.
Okay.
Like, this is not a good area. This is not, I mean, it's run down, it's old, and so our next case goes even farther and deeper into the shit tier part of Baton Rouge that is North Baton Rouge, which I hate to say it because I grew up there, but it is what it is nowadays. This is where he disappeared, and in relation to Jeremiah, Brian Hatfield disappeared. He was last seen in the 3800 block of Geronimo Street. So I think that's a little bit farther up here. I know it intersects with Winburn, Geronimo Street. 37. Okay. So the 3800 block. This case bothers me a lot more. I just know too much about it. 3800, I said?
You did.
34. Okay, so let me go back here. Okay, here we go. Oh, am I boring you?
No, I'm just tired. I've had a long day.
Absolutely same. The last block that Brian Hatfield was seen. He had had a night with his friends, and two of his friends in Lafayette. He brought his two friends home. He dropped off the first friend. Don't know where he dropped him off at. Doesn't matter at that point. But he dropped off his second friend in this 38 block of Geronimo Street of Baton Rouge. And back to 2008, please.
I imagine it hasn't changed that much.
No, it hasn't. I mean, it's just run down. It's old. There's one house that is covered in like vegetation. I wonder if it was in 2008, but regardless, it's not a good side of town. Wow. That's that's creepy. That reminds me of Sim City when it got black for a second. Jesus Christ. City now. Okay. So very high crime around this area. I mean, it is what it is. So the thing about Brian was he was a cross-dresser, and he was wearing women's clothing whenever he went missing. I mean, Lafayette has a pretty big drag burlesque scene, so it doesn't surprise me. I mean, sounds fun. Sounds like a fun guy to me. But
yeah.
Anyway, he was last seen during that morning. Yeah, like I said, he had been in Lafayette and was returning home to Baton Rouge. He dropped off two friends. The last one in that 3800 block of Geronimo Street, and he never arrived at his own home, and he was never heard from again. His 2000 Chevrolet Cavalier was found 3 weeks later in May in the parking lot of a Chevron gas station in Baton Rouge. And more about that later. I figured out which Chevron it was. The license plate was missing off the car, and there was no sign of Hatfield or any struggle in the car. I would hope that they ran some sort of test or dusted for some prints or looked inside the car. I'm sure they did. It says at the scene, but at the scene is pretty vague. I would rather hear they processed the car as a crime scene, but anyway.
Absolutely.
Hatfield, yeah, but Hatfield's checks and check card have been used since his disappearance, and investigators pulled over an individual who had Hatfield's license plate on his car. Authorities say these indicate that foul play was involved in his disappearance. They're not ruling anything out, however. He was the manager of a racetrack gas station on O'Neill Lane. They misspelled O'Neill right here. I live right down the street from there, and that's not how you spell it. He was planning on moving to Atlanta, Georgia before he vanished. Okay. So the Chevron gas station. Let's go to Web Sleuths. Okay, he was 21 when he went missing. That's just so young.
It really is.
Yeah.
Well, the other kid was 19.
19, yeah. And was dressed. I wish we knew more of what this meant. Better description of the clothes, as well as whether or not he'd be wearing a wig. It would be helpful of him to have a pic of him dressed as a woman. Yeah, I mean, it'd be helpful to have any other picture than the one they always have for people. Okay, so here's the, of course they don't have the actual story because they can't keep web pages like this up for so long, but
right.
Oh, this was written in 04. They went missing in 04. It was September 24th, 04. Months later, disappearances mystify families. On some sleepless nights, Melvin Parker drives the streets of Baton Rouge through unfamiliar neighborhoods searching. Parker knows whom he is looking for, but not where to find him, and he often drives for hours in no particular direction. Parker. 5 months ago, Parker's 20-year-old son, Jeremiah Jamal Parker, disappeared from a crowded Baton Rouge park and has not been heard from since. And then a month after he disappeared, another Baton Rouge young man was reported missing. Brian Hatfield was due home from Lafayette on May 9th, but never showed up after dropping off a friend on Geronimo Street that morning. It says in the article that they are different and that they are apparently unrelated, but it's pretty odd that two young guys disappeared from not very far from each other. And
I wish we had a side-by-side of them so I could look at them like side by side to see if there's any similarities. You know? They're not that similar, really.
No, they don't look very similar at all. They do have, it does appear that
they both have pierced ears. Yeah.
I think, really?
There's some
like,
thick
seriously?
Asian women in Baton Rouge.
I see Asian women in Baton Rouge. Very good then. Yeah, it appears that he has pierced ears. I don't know. Let's see. Let's check this out. No known distinctive body features. Anyway.
They both have pierced ears.
Yeah, they have that. That's about it. I mean, 2004. I think Derek Todd Lee was apprehended by then. But there's other Baton Rouge serial killers.
That was probably just the style to have both ears pierced.
Oh, absolutely. It's the style that happened in that time in Baton Rouge. So we look through the Charlie Project. Anyway. Police aren't ruling out anything, and he was likely a victim of foul play. In the parking lot of a Chevron gas station on Scenic Highway with its license plate missing. Boop. Let's do it. We're Scenic Highway.
All right. While you're looking for that, so they found another car with that license plate, and basically the people who have license plates just wiped it because the car was abandoned as far as they knew.
They were using no, they were using it on the car. I've never been able to find information about what the F happened with those people that they pulled over. They just say it implies foul play. I mean, the fuck? Yeah, it does. What do you mean?
It really does. But I doubt that people would would kill for license plates. That seems...
I think it was abandoned. Okay, this one is closed, but it was probably open. It was
Is that the
probably,
Scenic Highway one? Yeah.
yeah. Let's look at that. Yeah, okay. So this is the one. And then whenever you look at this in comparison to let's go down here, go down Plank Road, and then we'll turn down Winburn and then go up Geronimo. That's pretty fucking close. I mean, I believe he could have just gone for some gas. Where was it? It was relatively...
on his way home.
Yeah.
Do we know where he lived?
No, there's nowhere I've been able to find that said where he lived.
But it's reasonable to think that it was on his way home.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Here's Scenic Highway. Okay, so it's right here, and then the Geronimo Street is, right here. That's, yeah. So he could have just been getting gas on the way home.
What do you think? Some dudes took offense to him being dressed as a woman, or didn't realize he was a woman, and maybe there's a trap. Maybe there's like a trap theory at work.
Oh God. Trap theory at work. Well, it all depends, and on if was he like a drag queen also? Like, did he do his makeup? I mean, we don't know, because
he's got that little mustache. It seems like it would be hard to hide.
Yeah, that's I think you're right. And so anyway. But it's unclear whether that was a factor in his disappearance, the women's clothing, it said. Well, apparently they interviewed his mother, and she said that's how we know he was moving to California.
Atlanta.
Oh my God, you're so right. Why am I so ignorant? I don't know. Oh, for me,
I was paying attention.
I know you were. Wow, my kid is like ignorant right now. Wow.
Oh man,
it is hard being a kid, a 3-year-old exactly.
Yeah.
This is horrible. For me, it's just a living nightmare not knowing if he's dead or alive. The phone rings and I think it's him. That's pretty awful.
I feel sad for his mom and dad.
Yeah. This area of BR has a lot of violent crime. Yep. I don't need to look at the link of a dead. They did find it. Yeah, this is about someone who was shot dead in the 3800 block of Geronimo Street, but it's completely unrelated to that case. Yeah, same. Wish we had more information about the person who was driving the car with his license plate on it. I wonder what information they were able to gather, if anything, about the uses of his checks and check card. You'd think there would be something from that. You think?
You would think so, because we know Brian's still missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
A scorpion tattoo on his right shoulder. It's because he's a Scorpio. Hey.
Okay.
Taz tattoo on his lower leg. Cross-dresser wearing women's clothing when last seen. Last seen in Baton Rouge, LA. This is all they have for him. On here, his Namus.
I wonder if that was like an actual most recent picture. Like maybe they chose the most manly picture of him.
Maybe they chose his high school pictures. Who knows what picture they chose of him?
Because I can't imagine him like going out and having fun dressed as a woman with that little mustache.
I know. He had to have shaven it or something. I wonder if they have numbers for a case manager on here. And them earrings. You know what I'm saying? He just looks so sweet.
I bet he was a hell of a nice guy.
Yeah. Investigating agency. You'd have to call the Baton Rouge Police Department, but there's his case number, so I'd be interested in learning more about it. Case numbers are there. That's very cool. There's a poster.
Let's take a look at the poster. Yeah, not a lot of information.
Not a lot. That's what's sad about these cases. There's just not a whole lot of information. And then, oh, okay, case manager. Oh, it's the same two case managers.
Okay.
Perhaps I could email them or call them, regional administrator. I'd rather call this person.
Right. I would think that at least some information, like where were these cards? Where was this? Where were the checks and card used?
Yeah. Who was in the car? You know, okay, so I think it's perfectly viable to say that someone noticed that the car hadn't been used or moved in a while, and they were like, I'm gonna take these plates for my.
Yeah, that's a crime of opportunity. That has nothing to do with that guy's death, though.
Yeah, so perhaps they decided that the person that they pulled over just happened to do the wrong thing to the wrong car. Okay, wow, I'm on camera now. Okay, but I mean, honestly, I used to work with a girl at McDonald's whenever I worked there, and she never had car insurance, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever had car insurance. So it kind of makes, I mean, and for a long time, she didn't have a real license plate. That was kind of awkward. She would get pulled over sometimes and be late to work or not be able to get to work because her car.
Right.
I think it's no, and she wasn't the type of person to steal your plates off your car, but person in another situation like that, I totally believe that you just taking the opportunity. It's that type of area. I hate to say it, it's that type of area. It's Baton Rouge, anything above Florida Boulevard. Yeah, it's real sketch. It's not cool. Back in the 60s and 70s, it was pretty banging because it was new. But
right.
Yeah, people gravitated to South Baton Rouge as things went on. And his Namus profile is medium to high as well. Why? There's just not that much information.
They have about the same amount of information, honestly.
I think they do. I just think because I found that Advocate article, I think there's a little bit more information on Brian, but not that much.
Yeah.
I just figured out that the Chevron was the one on Scenic. So, and then it's interesting because if you go to Street View on Scenic, I think only 2008 was available because they don't want to go down there. And
right.
you know. Wait, let me check. Yeah, so weird that they wouldn't want to go down Scenic Highway. Let's see. Because now I'm kind of curious. I'm being petty about it. God, Fairfield is not a good neighborhood. So yeah. Looks like they did one in 2016. Okay, fair enough. I guess they had to, you know. But those are the two cases I wanted to cover.
Right.
You know,
we'll be putting information in the description, how you links to those profiles. And if you have any information, please contact the authorities. If you have a theory about what happened, put it in the comments. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, as well as hit that bell so you'll know when we gather again to talk about another unsolved mystery.
Absolutely. You really channeled Robin Mortar there. I'm kind of proud.
Speaking of which, I think I'm going to have a conversation with him soon.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about that actually. Yeah, that would be pretty fun. We did a conversation with a zoophile.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do a conversation with a podcaster. We were even wanting to do, well, I want to do a conversation with a white nationalist and someone from Antifa. I think that would be really interesting.
It
If we
would
could
be
keep it
interesting.
civil.
Yeah.
The
Well, one at a
civility would
time. I
have to
wouldn't
be
have
there.
everyone at the same time.
I mean, I mean, mm, that's the kind of shit I live for, you know?
Well, I mean,
I mean,
it might
I
be okay.
watch
We're
one of
not
my favorite
Geraldo though.
shows is like one of my favorite shows is like Flavor of Love and Rock of Love. Like Confrontation is my everything. But I mean, we're moderators. We're pretty good
Yeah.
moderators. We're not either not not either way. So
No, I mean the Antifa guy might take offense to me because I'm a fan of Pepe, but
you just like Pepe. I
I
mean,
just like Pepe. I've always
memes
liked
were
Pepe.
memes before the whole Pepe thing, you know?
Feels good, man.
Sad that they took the memes from us.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this was a short little live stream because these are cold cases. There's not really that much details about them, but I really wanted to talk about them and make a video because I hadn't in a while, and pre-recorded stuff kind of makes me want to vomit because I just chop up what I have to say and dissect it and think about it over and over again. And that's not really what it's supposed to be about. This was just supposed to be like a fun thing for me. And it was fun to go through and look at the maps and just tell you guys about some hometown cold cases. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.